In northeast London, the DriveNow electric car fleet is making it easier than ever to hire a car. In this case, a non-petrol one. What? Yes, we've wanted to drive an electric car around London for ages, so sent Beth along to find out what it's like to drive one in London.
What's good about driving an electric car in London?
Well, firstly, electric cars have zero tailpipe emissions, which is incredibly important in a London setting, when we're increasingly becoming aware and conscious of the harmful emissions and air quality issues in this city.
But surely the real reason for getting an electric car are the cost benefits.
This car, for example, will cost about £1 to £2 to charge fully and give you between 80 and 100 miles of drive.
Which does work out cheaper than a regularly fuelled car. But don't you just feel like the battery's going to run out at any second?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you first get in the car, there is this sort of sense of range anxiety, I suppose is a good term to describe it. But on the sat-nav, you can actually set it to take you to the nearest charging point. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to find the nearest charging point via the sat-nav.
Electric cars are quite nippy as well when they get going.
It's much quicker than I thought it was going to be, actually. Yeah, I mean, when I just put my foot down, it accelerated quite hard.
Here's a thought. If there were enough electric cars across London available to hire immediately through an app, could we live in a city where no one owned a car anymore and we just hired them as and when we wanted to?
There are cities, I mean, I think Singapore, for example, I think very few people actually own a car in Singapore, and they've made it financially not viable for people to own cars. The transport infrastructure in London is obviously very good, but there's still a certain way to go, particularly in some areas of London where it's still not great. Just because people live in London doesn't mean that all their family and all their friends and everything they need to do is in London.
And what about parking? We'd heard that you can park electric cars for free.
This DriveNow electric vehicle, you can park in any of the on-street parking spaces within our business area, which are 4 boroughs of northeast London. If you own your own car, your own electric vehicle in London, there are additional parking benefits. For example, in Westminster, you can park an electric car on a pay and display parking space for the limited amount of hours. So basically that means you have free parking in Westminster. Okay. A bit like the Monopoly board.
The onboard GPS took us to a parking space with a charging spot, and we parked and then had to figure out how to plug it in again.
Right, okay, so I'm going to plug this in, and plugs in here like this, and then I take this end and I plug it in the traditional fuel point for the car.
The DriveNow car charges from a Source London charging point, which will actually work with any electric car. There are currently 1,300 of them all over London, which should increase to 4,000 by 2018. Oh, and another bonus is that you don't have to pay the congestion charge in an electric car either. With all of these things adding up, Beth was really starting to take a liking to the car.
Okay, officially, I'm not allowed to take it home, but I reckon if we creep around the front now, we'll be able to get in and get away quickly.